Hi there everyone, as you can see I have my Xbox One, Wii, and PS3 here. This does not include the PS1 and other games that I had, game systems, gaming desktop, gaming, somewhat gaming. Anyways, I have been a gamer since I've been very, very young. Now, after doing some self-searching and really just thinking back on my life, recently I found that I had actually made video games a way of escape, so to speak. Growing up, my family had coddled me. Both my sisters, I have two sisters, a single mother that raised all three of us, and I was never really taught life living skills. My decisions were kind of made for me growing up because of a lack of... I was always wounded in how I was brought up. I didn't have a father. I was very misunderstood. I was very shunned everywhere I went outside of my home, and when I was in my home, there was a lack of security because of how I felt my voice was undermined, and I was just like, I was thinking growing up, my voice doesn't matter. And for any child, this can be pretty devastating. It can definitely leave a lack of self-esteem and a hindrance in their life. And throughout my time recently searching through all of this, I found that I had actually made games a way of escape around all of this. I'm not being able to effectively communicate my thoughts, my opinions, my value to my own family, let alone anyone outside of my family, made it very difficult to find any place where I could actually connect. I was introduced to the Nintendo 64 at a very young age. Yes, I must be old to remember the Nintendo 64. The cartridges never broke. Thank you very much, PS3 and Xbox. Throughout my time as a gamer, going from the original Game Boy and the NES, I played the NES, I owned the N64, all to Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance. Then the Nintendo DS came out and cartridges started having problems. I played a Game Boy Advance cartridge that was literally bent. The inside of it was bent. Occasionally the game would freeze up. I stuck it in my Game Boy Advance. Probably shouldn't have. It could have broken the little chips inside. It played. I was amazed when I first tried that. You try putting in a scratch disc inside of a PS3, it might run. Anyways, I was exposed to gaming at a very, very young age. It's been a huge part of my life. And as I recently noticed, I made these a way of escape. Trauma actually changes your DNA, increases the risk of PTSD for the next generation from the DNA of the person who has been traumatized, and it increases stress tremendously. Well, for me, video games were actually my way of escape from all of this. I am a gamer to this day. I still love it. It's the greatest pastime that I have. This isn't even all of the games. I just kind of ran out of room, so I quit hiding them all in here. These are all of my PS3 games. Kingdom Hearts, I'm a huge RPG gamer, as you can just kind of look through the list. I'm definitely a shooter as well. I enjoy shooters, but Call of Duty, Assassin's Creed, going on down, Ragnarok, Odyssey. I'm still a huge gamer. The 3 Xbox One games I own are both RPGs and another RPG. So I'm huge on them. But what I wanted to share today was that I found that video games are actually a great way to socialize, and I wanted to extend the outreach. If anyone has a PS3 or Xbox One or even Steam account, you want to get connected, let me know in the comments. But I wanted to also make a point that sometimes, and we don't really notice that we're doing it, our brain subconsciously buries these troubled times and from our youth, or from being bullied in school, or in extreme cases the death of a loved one. It buries those feelings sometimes in our subconscious because our brain isn't ready to deal with it. And what actually happens during that time is our brain finds a way, kind of like a donut on a car. Our brain kind of replaces the tire with a little donut, and a donut is just a little small wheel that you can find in the trunk of a vehicle that could get you maybe 20-30 miles to a pit stop, and then it breaks down. That's kind of what our brain does. I can't tell you how many times that anger from my childhood was brought up in my gaming. I can't recall how many systems I ended up breaking back to like the Game Boy Advance SP with the screens cracking or controllers, because I was just so angry and so hurt, I didn't know what was going on. Well, that's been dealt with now. I don't throw my controllers anymore, and I haven't broken any game systems. Thank goodness. These ones are getting way too expensive, because the PS3 is going to become the next gen PS2 here soon. Offline will be disconnected, and the Wii is already there. So, throughout the my time soul searching, I just wanted to impart a little bit of wisdom that if there's an abnormal reason for a lack of self-control, there is a deeper root behind the action. And go ahead and rewatch that scene if that was a little bit hard to take in. It's a little bit deep, complex, but there's always a root behind an abnormal action resulted from ungrounded feelings or thoughts, such as they're always just rude to me, no one understands me, they just don't get it. Whenever all this individual might be doing, say you're in school, well, maybe you should just try talking to him. You start thinking they just don't get it, no one understands, of course they'd say that, they're against me too. None of that's grounded. And the truth is, it's actually from a subconscious root that is leading your, like that donut is just getting you to the next stop, but then it breaks down. It's actually a problem that, if dealt with, you'll find you'll experience a lot more relief, less stress, because that's the root that's actually bringing up stress in those situations. You'll actually want to get involved with certain people that you may not have wanted to, depending on what the cause might be. For me, I quit getting angry like I was when I was playing games. I actually opened up to people more. I have more confidence. It's not even so much a self-esteem issue. I'm willing to learn. For the longest time, I couldn't figure out why I was unwilling to actually learn from people. I was willing, but I always had to fight myself to do it. I had to actually force myself to not think thoughts of, oh, whatever. And it was actually because of never being heard growing up. So it's made receiving correction, instruction, guidance, criticism less painful and easier to deal with. In fact, criticism doesn't really bother me now anymore because of this. So I wanted to first put it out there. I still have a PS3 here and the Xbox One, and as well as Steam. So feel free to get connected if you wanted to, but this was just a little bit of a vlog about my life and where I came from, and hopes to relate to a couple of people, grab a couple of viewers, audience, and attention, and hopefully that little bit of wisdom helped, that there's actually a reason behind all of those thoughts.